Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I haven't had a video out for a little while. Hopefully I got my random update video out. It was really rubbish and not very edited, but this video is really important and it follows on from my main event horse's kissing spine journey. Apologies if the dogs start going mad. It is so cold tonight. It is going down to, well, it's meant to be 2 degrees tonight. It's winter in Australia, and at 6 a.m. in the morning it's going to be -2, which I am not excited about. I digress. So we're back on Jet's kissing spine surgery. He had kissing spine surgery back in September 2020. So that's what, like a million months ago, like 8, 9 million, nearly a whole year. Okay, so originally, go back and watch his videos. I will put all the videos in the description below, and I might put up his original or the surgery one up here somewhere, or I don't know. But go and watch those first. Basically, he was lame initially. We've had a lot of saddle issues with him. And then we did various diagnostics. We diagnosed kissing spine, whether or not that was secondary, probably, that's my feeling. We did kissing spine surgery on rehab. Obviously he had rest and he rehabbed and that sort of thing. The lameness came back when we started cantering, which was really crap and really devastating. And it kind of made me think, okay, yeah, that lameness was the issue. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much in this intro, but tomorrow morning, I'm taking him to the University of Queensland to get his suspensory ligaments scanned by a specialist there. I had a lovely vet, Janine Dwyer. She was out a few weeks ago and scanned them. She thought they looked a little bit dodgy, agreed with like the history, like suspensories, kissing spine, so commonly go together. So we're going to go tomorrow. We're going to scan them. We may block them, so there may be another like lameness or a surgeon there checking him out, and we'll find out. I just want an answer. I want to do something about it, and I really hope they don't go, oh yeah, it's actually his hock and it's end of, you know, I don't know. He's my pride and joy. He is still out in the paddock. He's rearing, being a lunatic. He is so over life at the moment. He is so bored, and we want to know what's going to happen. So I'm going to go inside now, and I will see you tomorrow, and we will be on our way to the University of Queensland for Jet's scans and further workup. Fingers crossed. Oh, P.S. got my cast off. Look how gross that is. I broke my thumb 5 weeks ago, cast off today, and yeah, so 2 hands are going with us tomorrow to the university. See you tomorrow, guys. Let's get on the road. I've just loaded. I'm a bit late, but this is the amazing get up this morning because it is pretty cold. It was -2 when I got up this morning. It says on the car that it's 8 degrees. Jet was a little bit worried just then about getting on the float. I guess every time in the last year, pretty much, that he's got on the float, he's gone to the vets. So poor guy is probably not very excited about it. Something else that's really funny is like he's a horse that never ever scrambled. He was the easiest loader. I mean, you'd see he really didn't put up much of a fight there, but he's always self-loaded. I'm just driving down my lane at the moment, just in case you guys think I'm driving on the highway with my phone. But yeah, he never ever scrambled. And then all of a sudden he started scrambling when we went to the left. Do you know what? He's lame in the left hind. I reckon that whatever is, you know, making him sore is what's made him start scrambling. So it'll be really interesting to see if everything, when it gets sorted out, if he stops scrambling. So that's why the divider is over and he gets the whole float, because A, there's no one in there, and B, like, why not? So, but yeah, it stops him scrambling. He can get his legs apart. And yeah, so I will probably catch up with you when I'm at the vets. It's about an 1.5 hour drive, so I need to get a real wriggle on. I'm running a bit behind, so hopefully they're running behind, and I've got to send them the x-rays, and the specialist will have a look at the hock x-rays and things like that, and then hopefully I get to film a little bit while I'm there. I know because obviously it's a teaching uni, there will be vet students and things, so I'll have to be a bit careful what I record, because obviously all the vet students don't want to be in the film. So yeah, okay, I'll catch up with you when I'm there. Jet, don't fall over on you. Good boy. You all right? Good lad. So Jet is currently waiting to have his scan, and the nurses and things are getting him ready. And then Alex, the vet, is hopefully going to come and get me, and I will try and get as much footage as possible. And hopefully we get some answers. I'm currently in the little waiting room. It's very nice. I'm trying to be a bit quiet so I don't seem totally weird. Still waiting. It's been a while. Hopefully I'll be really annoyed if they've like scanned him and I haven't been there. Somebody's meant to come and get me. Let's hope so. I don't know if we're going to be blocking today, but I think the plan was that a surgeon would come and have a look at him as well. And I guess we see him trot, whatever. I don't know. I don't like the thought of them just doing stuff for my horse without me. But fingers crossed, someone comes soon.
Yeah, let's see, look there. That area up there, like that's all. This is the fat and muscle here and here. Mm-hmm. This is not normal for it to extend. Having a look, and then we'll take a comparison.
Here's a comparison of the left and the right. The suspensory is the blackish bit at the bottom, not the circle at the top. And the left side is definitely bigger than the right side. So I'm not sure if you can actually see that in that picture. Hi guys, so quick update. We have finished all of Jet's scans and Alex feels like there is changes in the suspensory. She wasn't overly sure, but then when she checked the right one after the left one was definitely bigger than the right one, but there are changes in both of them. So they're a little bit hectic today. I want to get the surgeon to block them if we can. His day's a little bit manic and he's like in the middle of surgery or doing something else. So I've got to nip off and do something that's near Gatton, handy enough. So I'm going to go do that and then I'm going to come back and hopefully I will be back in time for the blocking and things. I mean, there is a chance that they won't get it done today, which would be a little bit crappy, but that's where we're at. I think I'm sort of feeling like it's not good news, but I just want to know, and you know, to have it like a little bit backed up for what I have been suspecting. Just, you know, it makes me, I don't know, it's kind of like, it's weird, it's like bittersweet, like it's crap news obviously, but I know there's something wrong, so I want to know. I'm gonna be off. I will probably catch up with you when I'm on my way back. So I'm back here and it's now 4:45. I haven't heard from the uni, but I'm hoping something's happened with him. Oh, now I don't know if I've gone past it. I'm very confused. But yeah, I haven't heard from anybody. I'm hoping I haven't missed it. I don't know if they're going to do anything. I think I've gone past it. Where the heck am I? Okay, I'm going to go and try and find myself and I'll let you know how we're going. Okay guys, it's now the next day, so it is Friday, I think. I actually sort of forgot to do a little bit of an outro yesterday. I got back to the vets, you saw me driving in and it was like getting dark. And I got there and the whole place was shut. And I hadn't heard from them. It's like, oh God, I'm never gonna get my horse back. And I went in and the surgeon that was potentially meant to have looked at Jet seemed a bit confused who I was. Anyway, he literally had the most mental day. And so I had a bit of a chat to him because his wife, who actually scanned Jed, didn't even get a chance to talk to him about the scan. So I ran him down and then he was like, can you come back in a few weeks or what? And I was like, oh. And I said, what about tomorrow? And today, Friday, is literally the only day I have clear for like ages. So I was like, okay, I'll bring him back. And I could have left him there. He was like, do you want to leave him? Jodie is a little bit of a sensitive soul. He's a bit stressy. So I was like, no, look, I want to come back. I want to be here when we block him anyway. So I brought him home and now I'm going to load him up and take him back. Now, there was this bit of confusion where when we went in, he'd apparently like trotted him up and it said, oh, he looks lame in the right leg. And because we were looking at the hinds, I think we all assumed he meant the right hind. I was thinking, oh, for goodness sake, like, no, what's going on here? Anyway, when I chatted to him, he said, oh, he actually looked lame in front, and then he couldn't remember which leg. And I was like, So I've been really rubbish at vlogging, but a few weeks ago I had lovely vet Janine booked out to come and scan Jet's suspensories or have a look at him and potentially block him. And then if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that he slipped in the paddock and literally was three-legged lame in front of my eyes. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So the next morning it blew up just below his fetlock and his hoof. And so he was instantly in the box. I was icing his leg twice a day. It was wrapped. He was on bute. I was like, goodness gracious. So when Janine came, I was like, well, we can't really work him up because he's just done this injury to his front leg. So we looked at Foxy, which I kind of blabbed on a bit in the last vlog, and it's all gone down and looks fine. He's out in the paddock, but obviously when Albert the surgeon trusted him on the circle yesterday, it looked sore. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. I don't know, we'll have a look. If he is still quite lame, I might speak to them about scanning it, because he was so lame when he did it. I mean, thank goodness the swelling's gone now, but you know, for goodness sake. Anyway, so what we may have to do is block that lameness out so we can actually assess his hind legs, because obviously if he looks lame and seriously, this is just the most ridiculous journey ever. But you know, this is horses. So I'm going to grab Jet in a second, load him up. We're going to get on the road, and then I'll probably see you guys when I get to Gatton again. And then you might, hopefully, I will speak to Albert, see if I can get some videos of him trotting around and that kind of thing. Maybe I can get one of the students to hold the camera, perhaps, because I'm always the one running. Right, long drive ahead. Let's go. Do you think about going again, JEDS? You're not too impressed, are you? You weren't so good at loading yesterday, were you, Jodie? He's a good boy. Hey, buddy. How are you? I got you some licorice. We still got a little way to go. Good boy. Okay, I'm just arriving at the uni, and I'll go and let them know that I'm here. Then I can get Jodie off. Hopefully, Albert, who I assume I am seeing today, will be nearly ready to come out and have a look at the jet man. And as I said, I will try and get some footage, because it's really rubbish if it's just like me informing you, but sometimes that's kind of the way it has to go at the vets, you know, and there are students here, so obviously I can't film if all the students are in the way, but I'll try and keep you guys in the loop and have some update for you ASAP. Hello. Jet, looking very fetching. Nice. So here's a lameness locator, and in the circle, it's showing up that there's a little bit of a right fore lameness on the left of this page. And then the two sort of bars, you can see that they're left hind lameness. Now, there's two reasons why the right fore could be coming up as a little bit lame on the locator. Firstly, because of Jet's little slip, and secondly, because the left hind is causing the lame, the horse shifts their weight. So obviously the lameness locator isn't, you know, it's not subjective. It's just reading exactly how the horse moves. So we're sort of looking at Jet here on the lunge, and even every now and then he sort of looks, if you're looking in front at head nods, it can be a little bit deceptive. So we're really looking at the hind end.
So this, I will say, to the left hind limb lameness, or straight line, left hind limb lameness. bad today on the front leg.
Not as bad?
No, yesterday, the first couple of us.
Looks a bit tentative, but...
Yeah. Because I think he's struggling. This was when I started with walking. I think he's a little bit sore as well on the right arm.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's not showing probably full. Yeah, yesterday the right arm was good. With the leg inside, and a little bit the left, a little bit worse. Yeah. So we'll.
So far they've used the lameness locator on Jet, and I'll try and put in a lot of those videos. And here's little Jet. He's just had a block in his right fore. So that's the one that he had that stupid slip. And although the main lameness that is showing up is the left hind and a little bit right hind, the right fore is kind of cropping up. So it's a little bit annoying. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that and then trot him up and see if the left hind lameness comes up more obviously, so that then we can do the suspensory blocks and see how well that works. So he's just going to chill here for 10 minutes in his little prison, and then we'll see how he goes. He's got a little bonnet doodah on. You'll have seen on the videos he has had a little bit like sticking on his bum and a little bit around his fetlock, and that's so that the lameness locator can assess which legs are moving, how much. And I did take a photo. They actually like assess if there's more movement on impact or when they take the so impact I guess is when they're pushing off the limb, and then the other part is when they're not pushing off the limb. Really well explained, Jodie, well done. Okay, I'm gonna go and get a drink of water, and then we will get back together when Jodie is ready to go. He's just trying to eat my finger. Go and get him a bit of a licorice. Do you want this, Jodie? What's that? Good boy. Another one. Jodie. Another one. Good boy. Very smart, aren't you? Dun, dun, dun. What was your name? Tim?
Tim.
Hi, Tim. This is Tim, everyone. There you go.
Now it's showing a little bit of the left line. Or showing the left hand a little bit more. So the head bob, you see that I think it's showing the left hand more. So the hip goes up, down, and the head goes down when the left hand is on the ground. So you could be the head bob. You don't know when it is the head going down or the head going up, down. But know that if you look at the hip, how much movement we have on the hip, it's more clear, like actually we got it more clearly on the left arm. It's traveling happier in this side, definitely, than the other side.
Oh, it's 3 o'clock, my lunch break.
Okay.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2,
That was the ultimate pain in the behind. I don't know if any of you know from prior, I think I've mentioned in other vlogs, he's really difficult to put twitch on, and we just had to do his blocks in his suspensory, and we wanted to do like a low 6, so that what the effect of that is that basically if he's negative to a low 6, then, and that's the one just above the fetlock, which you'll see we started trying to do, but Jake kept like kicking the needle out. I think I filmed it, I'm not sure. So we want him to be kind of negative to that, so that when we then block the suspensory high up, like at the origin, if then he like responds to that block, then you know for sure that it's the origin of the suspensory and you're not blocking something further down. But Jet was so difficult and he's so hard to twitch, so we had to sedate him, and even with like a little bit of sedation, he was so hard to get the twitch on. It was like the stable hand, the nurse and me all trying to do it, and I had to twist the twitch with my slightly too retarded hands. Anyway, we've got it in, so annoyingly we didn't get to do the low 6 on its own because we thought we might only get one ditch attempt. So Albert has blocked the origin of the suspensory, which is where we sort of suspect most of the issue is, and then we'll bring him out in like 15 minutes once a bit of sedation has worn off, and basically see if there's improvement. And basically I want him to be pretty sound, or you know, when we look at the lameness locator, we've got to have like a really, really big improvement. And then what we will probably find is that because there is some issue on the right, that he might suddenly go lame on the right hind. So we will see this in a minute. Yeah, the left hock, well, a long time ago we injected both hocks, but he still wouldn't canter and things. That's why we then ended up going to surgery. Most recently we just injected the left hock and he improved, and then he had both. Hi guys, so this is Dr Albert Sole Guitart. He's one of the surgeons at the University of Queensland, and he's done the workup on Jet today, and he's just going to give us a little bit of an overview of like what the surgery involves that Jet's going to end up having.
So yeah, today we had to look, we did an ultrasound yesterday and we had changes on the proximal suspensory ligament in both legs, worse on the left. Today we did the lameness exam. So we did that a little bit backwards, but just to confirm that the images that we saw yesterday are clinically significant because they look like chronic changes. We did the blocking pattern today, and yeah, we got more than 60% improvement of when we did the deep branch of the lateral plantar nerve of the left hind. So most likely there is a, you know, significant portion of the pain is coming from that region. So the surgery that we do is like neurectomy of the lateral, the deep branch of the lateral plantar nerve. So that's just the little nerve that comes off from the lateral plantar nerve at the level of the hock, and it goes right to bifurcate into the two nerves that they go at the head, at the origin of the suspensory ligament, the lateral and medial plantar metatarsal nerve. So doing that, the surgery is like cutting that 2 centimeters of the deep branch, and we do the deep metatarsal fascia, we open it down 6 centimeters, so we give a little bit of room for the suspensory to heal, and that usually like 2 months they're back to work. Yeah.
Okay guys, that sounds pretty good. Well, thank you very much, Albert, for your time.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. I'll try and explain, because not everyone's veterinary that watches this, so I'll try and give a bit of a layman's terms later when I'm, you know, closing out. But Jet's going to get loaded up now. He's there with Paul. Say hi, Paul. Hello, that's Paul. And so we're going to take Jet home, and then I'll give a bit of a debrief in a as little veterinary fashion as I can. Okay. Seaweed, daddy. I'm such a big goat. Hang on. Oh, they're so sticky. Yuck. See what little Jetman thinks. Hey, Jodie. He's been sedated, so he can't actually have his hay net, but I'm sure he won't choke on 2 licorice. Next minute. And then I'll stop at 7. Got him, get it. Stop at 7 and put his hay net in. All right, buddy. See you at home. We're home. This is me sort of signing off. It's been a full-on couple of days. Jetman is here just having his dinner. He's all wrapped up because he's had injections in his right front to get rid of that annoying little lameness that was putting everyone off, and the left hind. So he doesn't feel completely wonky. I've bandaged everything. Excuse the grubby rug. I'll just give you like a little bit of a very non-veterinary burble about the diagnosis. Just while you guys are here, if you're still here at the end of all this, please make sure you click the little thumbs up before, the video ends. And I'd love you guys to write a comment. It really makes a difference to YouTube. They sort of realize you're actually here and you're not half asleep. And obviously, if you're not subscribed, please click the subscribe. If you don't want to miss any of the videos, click the little bell doodah, and it says like turn notifications on or whatever. I do find that quite useful because I follow quite a few really cool, events in the UK to make me not miss home. And often I'm like digging around. I don't want to miss their videos. And if you have the bell on, you actually get like a message. Anyway, back to the story. Love little Jet's ear sticking out there. Really retro. It's actually a fashion statement. The suspensories, I might try and draw, perhaps, because I've got my hand out for the cast, where the suspensory is. But basically, it's a really, really strong, kind of ligamenty, muscular, fibrous-y thing that runs down right at the back of the cannon bone. And it originates at the top of the cannon bone, just below the hog. And it goes all the way down to the fetlock, then branches into 2 and goes each side, and then goes around to the front of the foot. And it's really strong and it's really important. And then behind that, you have the deep digital flex tendon and the superficial digital flexor tendon. Now, those 2 are a little bit more obvious. When you have an issue with a superficial, that's what is, when you guys hear of like a bow tendon and the back of the leg looks really swollen. So normally those guys are really swollen. If a deep digital flex tendon like snaps, the fetlock might look really low and the toe might be up, but that's really extreme. But basically those 2, they're tendons, okay, so they're a bit different and they do really swell. Now, the suspensory is a little bit tricky, and for example, with Jet, where we've had initially I feel like there was an acute injury and then we never really found out what it was, and so it's now become chronic. What can happen is it's encapsulated in a really tight sheath. That's what we call the fascia. So you imagine there's a heap of spaghetti and it's wrapped in cling wrap, okay? And say the spaghetti, you wet it, all right? So what happens to the spaghetti? It gets bigger. So, okay, cling wrap's maybe not a good example because that probably was stretched, but imagine it wants to swell and it can't. The cling wrap's holding it tight. That's kind of what happens to the suspensory. And so it swells, like with a foot abscess. A foot abscess is so painful because it can't swell because of the hoof wall. And that's the same with the suspensory. So it tries to swell, but there's nowhere to go. So you can't really see it from the outside. And so the pain is sort of held in there and it can become chronic. That is why with the surgery, they actually cut the cling wrap and try and release some pressure. But if that's the only thing they do, then there tends to be horses that relapse and they still get painful. So what they also do, sorry, my dog's being really annoying. Destroy my life. They cut one of the nerves. Now, that's not like the old school neurectomies you hear of where show jumpers like cut the nerves to the foot and then they still jump and the horse can't feel its foot and its foot could be like falling off. It's not the same as that. The suspensory will still have sensation, but it will remove a portion of the pain. So some of the muscles, yes, there's actually sort of muscles down the ligament, and I'll try and draw some little arrows on the ultrasound picture. The ultrasound won't be totally helpful. It's quite hard to read, even, you know, as a vet. The ultrasonographer who scans thousands of these, you know, she's sitting there like thinking, this is really difficult to read. So, but anyway, basically, let's get back to it. Prognosis is pretty good. Okay, we know there's a little issue with his hock, but hopefully if we get rid of the pain in the suspensory, and then if we medicate the hock, and we've done the back, Bob's your uncle. Basically, we're going to the Olympics in the next 4 years. So, you know, anyway, let's watch this space. It's probably best that we leave the surgery for 3 weeks-ish because he's had injections. So that's recommended from, you know, studies. And hopefully the next time you see this little guy, he will be heading in to have suspensory surgery. And maybe within the next 6 months, I'll be on him. And maybe next year, we'll have some event vlogs. So hopefully between now and then, we'll be back on Woody and Foxy. My thumb is out of the cast. It is still very weak and it does not bend. So let's hope that gets a bit better. Anyway, guys, if you are still here, thank you so much for following on. I hope this vlog has been interesting. If it has, please comment below. Let me know, like, was it good? Do you have any questions? Oh, quickly, while I'm here, if you are following along and you are a Kissing Spine person, do go and check out my new sort of Kissing Spine page on Instagram. It's called @KissingSpineSurvivors. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's @JEDS Equine. And I do talk obviously about Jet, and I talk about my other horses and a little bit of poor performance. The Kissing Spine is kind of generalized poor performance, but it is more Kissing Spine. But a lot of these horses have more issues, so we're going into that a lot. And if you have got a Kissing Spine horse and you want a little bit more support, go and follow the link. I'll put the links down below in the description for my Patreon, which, you know, allows you to have more access to me. And we do one-on-one phone calls and that kind of thing. And there's a rehab program and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, guys, I think that's enough of me wittering on. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.